Do you find inner ear headphones uncomfortable? Perhaps you're particularly unlucky and find over-ear headphones equally as restricting. Perhaps bone conduction isn't an option here either because, well, let's face it, they lack the clarity of normal headphones. Now, if this sounds like you, then you're a particularly cursed individual, but it just so happens that there is another option for you, and it's with these, the Soundcore AeroClip. Now, instead of wearing them in your ear, or over your ear, or even next to your ear for that matter, you wear them like this. Now, I realise that they aren't necessarily the first clip-on style earbuds. If you go looking, there are a select few other models out there which share this style. Certainly more examples have been cropping up over the last 6 months or so, but up until now it's such a rare style that these are actually the first clip-on earbuds to land on my desk. So although I haven't got much experience to compare these to other earbuds in this category, I thought I'd still probably better take a look to see if this type of ear-mounted audio device can compete with more traditional styles. But like all of my audio reviews, I find that first impressions are important for you guys to get a feel of my natural reaction. So let me take you back a couple of weeks ago when I first unboxed them. Well, I could not miss this opportunity to get out in this sun. It's not even March yet, and I can feel the warmth of that sun. So summer, please come quickly. Anyway, we're outside to test what's in this box. And I already know what it is. And if you're watching the episode, you already know what these are as well. But I've never tested anything quite like these before. So this is why I'm filming this, to give you my first reactions on this type of technology. Ah, yes. Comically large amounts of bubble wrap as always for a small, very small parcel. Well, look at these. Okay, so what have we got? We've got the Soundcore AeroClip. Really not sure how I feel about these. A few instructions here on how to wear them the best. So there's some extra grips, apparently, some extra ear grips to give better grip on different ear sizes. That's interesting. I hadn't really thought about that actually, how these are. Well, do you know what? They're a lot smaller than I thought they would be. This case is tiny. Okay. Oh my goodness. These are a lot smaller than I thought they were going to be. Good grief. I don't know, you just think they're going to be much bigger, but they're tiny. These are absolutely tiny. Right, we are paired and we are ready to go. Okay, so this goes on my right ear. The small side in. And it just goes on the outside like that. Oh my God. Is that right? Have I done that right? That is right. But you can't actually even feel there. You can't even feel them when they're on. Well, you can, but it's really light. Hold on a minute. I quite like this. Well, I like that. I thought that this is different to how I expected it to be based on the pictures. Right, let's try some music, shall we? Well, I don't know what the leakage is like for the audio. I'll test that out in a more controlled environment later on. But the sound is really good. These are not what I expected at all. Now, obviously, they're kind of a more open ear style headphone, kind of like the sort of sport loopy type things. But they're also not. I actually can't believe how good this sounds. I'm a bit lost for words. Okay, look, that has completely blown my expectations away. Like, I don't even know what, I genuinely don't know what to say. They're far better than I thought. Oh my word. And I can hardly feel that they're on. They're not uncomfortable. This is going to sound so weird, but these are probably the most comfortable headphones I've ever worn. But are they even headphones? Right. I think I'm going to have to spend some more time with these. I'll see you back in the country club shortly. So, a few weeks later, what now can I say about these? Well, from a style and comfort perspective, they've broken down any conceptions that I had on AeroClip earbuds, and that's a good thing. I've always been a bit apprehensive about this style for a number of reasons. One is that the design looks like it could be uncomfortable for long periods of wear. However, it's far from that. These are so comfortable that you genuinely forget that you're wearing them. They don't give my ears any kind of fatigue like inner ear headphones do after a few hours of use, and equally they don't compress my ears like over ear headphones do after a while. There's a few specific tricks I think they've done here to make these extremely comfortable, and firstly, they've coated them in a soft TPU material around the ends and the loop, which is flexible, soft, and I guess skin friendly. Now I think this has helped immensely with the overall comfort, but also the general curvature of the ends feels really nice for extended use as well. Now, I mentioned earlier that there are other types of AeroClip headphones in the wild, including the Soundcore C30i, and supposedly the new Aeroclips feature a 37% smaller acoustic chamber, which has meant essentially a reduction in size. Although I don't comparatively have experience of what the others were like, so I can't necessarily say for certain how much of a difference that makes, but one thing I can say is that the last thing that makes these super comfortable is the weight. There's almost nothing to them, again, which essentially adds to the long periods of use without discomfort. I genuinely have been taken aback by how comfortable they are. Now, the second misconception that I had was that these wouldn't be suitable for any kind of vigorous exercise, and like my preconceived thoughts on the comfort, this is something else I was completely wrong about. Whatever magic they've used keeps them firmly in place, no matter what situation you end up wearing them in. Watch this. All right. Popping those on in their normal spots. I think one of the tricks they've used to make them so secure is by using a 5mm memory titanium wire, whatever the hell that is. And this is hidden inside the sweeping loop, which is, as I mentioned earlier, encased in soft TPU for that added comfort. Supposedly, this engineering can take over 20,000 bends and still retain its factory shape. Now, I'm not going to sit here and bend it 20,000 times to test that theory, but it really does seem to just spring back into place no matter how much you bend it, within reasonable expected use capacity, of course. But this flexible loop creates a brilliant supportive hold on your ear whilst barely being noticeable. It holds on so well that you could do the most vigorous of activities and they would not budge. They stay in my ears better than 90% of earbuds that I've tested, so that says something. I'd say they stay on almost as well as the active style headphones with the kind of loop that goes over and around the back of your ear. Except these are lighter, and in a weird way, I think they're more stylish. Sure, I don't think they're going to be everyone's cup of tea, and the white and gold ones make you look like you're wearing some kind of comically large earrings. But is that necessarily a bad thing? Because from a style perspective, they're certainly much more of a fashion statement than your regular old boring white plugs that every man, woman and his dog, or her dog, has got. I think it's this style and flair that will tickle the pickle of quite a few people. They do have some elegance and sophistication. With the way these sit on your ears, they're not quite the same as in-ear earphones, because they don't actually sit in your ear to create that tight seal. And they're not quite the same as open-ear headphones either, because the distance to my ear hole is significantly smaller than any open-ear headphones that I've tested before. And because of this, you get almost all of the benefits of the clear audio that sealed headphones and earbud experiences give you, whilst simultaneously giving you a more free, open and lightweight feeling that open-ear headphones offer. These are literally the best of both. As a disclaimer, when it comes to comfort and fit, there is going to be a range of experiences with these, depending on your ear size or shape. And if you have ears like Shrek, it's going to be absolutely hopeless trying to use these. But fortunately, there is some adaptability with them, because in the box it comes with those different size ear grips which change the friction distance between the two ends. But how these will end up feeling on your own ears, well, only you will be able to say that. So if you do have a pair of these, make sure you come to the comments below and drop your thoughts on the comfort. But all I can say is that for me, these are so comfortable. And to reiterate my initial thoughts during my very first test, these really are one of the most comfortable listening experiences I've ever had. I mean, I can't even tell I'm wearing them now. It's incredible. And I hate that, because looking as they do, they've got no right to be this comfortable. But let's move on. What about the sound? Are they actually comparable? And can they compete with other more traditional styles of headphones? Well, this was another thing that completely floored me, because they sound bloody phenomenal considering the facts. They use 12mm titanium coated driver and dual mag units, which comes together for a vibrant and clear sound. In my opinion, because they're not quite in and not quite out, and barely noticeable if you're wearing them, to me it kind of creates this weird auditory illusion where it feels like the sound is surrounding you as if you're at some kind of concert. It's certainly an unusual sensation, but the soundstage that these create, combined with the quality of sound that Soundcore is known for, it makes a very pleasurable listening experience indeed. Now, I mentioned earlier about the sound leakage, which is kind of as expected. The leakage absolutely isn't as loud as other open-ear styles, but nor is it as quiet as true sealed headphones. Have a listen to this. Alright, I'm going to turn it right up. It's quite loud. So we're on full volume now, and I'm not sure what you can hear. If I take one out and move it slightly more forward, not sure at what distance you could start hearing that. Obviously the leakage is going to be more when it's off the ear, because it's not actually sending the sound into my ear hole, it's sort of just out into the open air. So actually when it's on, the leakage is even less. So although there is some leakage, it's far more minimal than other types of audio headphone styles. But overall, the quality of sound tested over a range of content this past week has been exceptionally better than I anticipated. But it's not just the style and sound that delights me. There are a few other things which I think are worth noting, things that are a signature staple of Soundcore these days. One of which, talking about the sound, is the sound from the microphones. The last Soundcore products I tried were the Liberty 4 Pros, which had some incredible noise cancellation. We actually took those to one of the largest waterfalls in Wales to see how they stood up to the roaring sound of the water. And the microphones, when we tested those, did such a good job of isolating my voice, so naturally I had to see if these were just as good. So all the audio now is coming directly through these, and unfortunately I haven't got the time to drive all the way back to that waterfall, hike down the side of it just to film at the bottom. So I'm going to try with the second loudest thing known to man, and that is a vacuum cleaner.
So this is what it sounds like with the vacuum cleaner right next to me on full blast. I'm not sure what it sounds like. I'm going to review this after I've finished. But hopefully you can see how good these deal with ambient noise like this and still picking up my voice.
That is a vacuum cleaner. So this is what it sounds like with the vacuum cleaner right next to me on full blast.
I'm not sure what it sounds like. I'm going to review this after I've finished. But hopefully you can see how good these deal with ambient noise like this and
still picking up my voice. Seriously, you couldn't ask for much more from the mics on these. And considering they don't have directional arms like the Liberty 4 Pros, the AI must be working overtime to isolate my voice, yet another thing that has ended up way better than I expected. Now, alongside this, there's also some tap controls too. Not that I'll ever use that functionality, because you know how I feel about tapping something attached to your ear. But credit given where credit's due, these might be the most comfortable this interaction has ever been. And it's super easy too, because you can actually tap the entire loop that goes around your ear to interact with the controls, such as double tap to play or pause and triple tap to skip to the next track. You can, however, change these controls through the app, which gives you full customizability for both left and right independently, which is nice. And the app is the last notable experience with these because it's super simple and very easy to use and offers quite a bit of customization. Along with the controls, you've got full EQ settings with some presets, or you can add your own custom EQ, and you can also set up dual connections to pair multiple devices that work at the same time. And you can even find your Aeroclips if you lose them. And tapping this button sends out a rather loud, audible beep. But that's pretty much everything that I think is worth discussing about these awesome earbuds. But if you want to find out more about them yourself, you can check out the full spec sheet on their website or at the link below, so go and take a look at them yourselves. But I'll be honest here. I think when I started writing this episode and figuring out these Aeroclips for the first time, I had a bit of a preconception that these would be a little strange. And that bias was mostly centered around the fact that the design and style of this type of earbuds is somewhat polarizing. It's new and it's strange. And this style moves away from the traditional ideas of what headphones are. And like all new things, it can look a bit strange at first, but I kind of see these a bit like cars. Imagine the year 1901, you see a car fly past you as you cycle down the road on your penny farthing. Yet now it's the complete opposite. Will these completely take over headphones and earbuds? No, it's very unlikely. But I do think that as more people try this audio style, more people will be converted. Especially, and even more so, if they try the Aeroclips first. I couldn't have had a better introduction to this type of technology than the Aeroclips, because they've certainly converted me into a lover of this style. So to summarise in a sentence, the Aeroclips, they might be an unusual form of tech, but they have some incredible benefits over traditional styles that I could never have anticipated. So do not overlook or underestimate them. But what do you guys think? Is this a style of headphone you'd be willing to give a go, or is it just a bit too out there for your tastes? Let me know in the comments below what you all think of the Soundcore AeroClip so we can all have a good chinwag over it. And remember, I'll drop a link below where you can find these to take a look for yourselves. And if you enjoyed today's episode and it helped you decide whether or not these are for you, then make sure you hit that thumbs up and subscribe button to return the favour. But other than that, guys, I'll see you guys back for another episode of STU'S Reviews soon.